or Hai. Amsterdam, the capital and the largest city of the Netherlands, is the capital of the kingdom since 1814. It is located in the province Northern Holland in the west of the country in the mouth of the Amstel rivers and Hay. Amsterdam is connected by Noord's Channel to the North Sea. As of July 2020, the population of municipality Amsterdam makes 869,709 people, together with suburbs. The city district -4 million inhabitants. As of January 2013. Amsterdam is a part of agglomeration Randstad, which is the 6th largest in Europe. The name of the city came from 2 words. Amstel. I will also give the name of the river, Dam. In the 12th century it was the small fishing village, but at the time of the golden age of the Netherlands, Amsterdam became one of the most significant ports of the world and large shopping center. In Amsterdam there are more than 100 kilometers of channels, about 90 islands and 1,500 bridges. 4 main channels: Single Herringgracht, Keizersgracht and Prinsengracht together form concentric half rings which surround the city. Thanks to it, the city is called Northern Venice. The line of defense of Amsterdam represents a 135-kilometer ring of strengthenings around the city and is the UNESCO World Heritage Site. The city is the place of concentration of various cultures. In April 2009, representatives of 177 nationalities lived here. Amsterdam is also the financial and cultural capital of the Netherlands. Here the headquarters of 7 of 500 largest world companies, for example, of Philips and Ingroep, was located. Also in the downtown the stock exchange, oldest in the world, is located. In Amsterdam the main office Greenpeace is located. Many large world companies are based in Amsterdam or opened in it the headquarters, for example Uber, Netflix and Tesla. Set of sites: Rijksmuseum, Vincent van Gogh's Museum, the City Museum, the Hermitage on Amstel, the Red Light District. The Valen annually attracts about 4.2 million tourists to the city. Other important cultural centers are the Museum Nemo, the Tropical Museum, the Museum of Navigation, the Maouderslotloch. Among the famous residents of Amsterdam throughout all history: artists Rembrandt and Van Gogh, and Frank, philosopher Benedict Spinoza. In 2005 the Amsterdam brand was started. The new symbol of Amsterdam, developed by the Dutch advertising agency Kessels-Kramer, beats a grammatical construction of I am. The Hakka is that am. At the same time are the first letters of the name of the city and emphasizes individualism of a brand. It is about each person separately, which do the city special. At the beginning of December 2018 the letters Amsterdam removed from the square in front of the museums. After floods of 1170 and 1173 the locals living at the Amstel River built the bridge through the river and a dam, having called the village of Amsterdam. Literally, a dam on Amstel. The earliest known use of this name contains in the document of October 27, 1275, which exempts residents of the village from payment of bridge duty to the Count Floris V. The people living about Amsterdam, that is about a dam on Amstel, are mentioned in this document. By 1327 the name of the village was transformed to Amsterdam. Amsterdam is located in the northwest of the Netherlands in the province Northern Holland in the mouth of the Amstel River on the bank of the Gulf IJsselmeer. The Amstel River, proceeding through the downtown, forms a network of canals and the canal. Besides, the city is connected by Noord's Channel to the North Sea and Canal Amsterdam-Rhine, with the Rhine River being at the same time at the height of 2 m below sea level. Amsterdam, highly urbanized city. Its total area is 219.4 square km and population density minus 44.57 people on 1 square km. Parks and nature reserves make 12% of the territory of the city. The strong urbanization of Amsterdam practically destroyed a natural landscape of the city in a form of a relief. Amsterdam is in a zone of a temperate climate, with a great influence of the sea. In the city northwest winds prevail, often there are squally rushes and storm. During the winter period temperature seldom falls below 0 C. Frosts happen when moving cold air masses from Scandinavia and Eastern Europe. The summer in the city is more often warm than roast. The average annual sum of rainfall is 716, at the same time the most part falls on the period from October to March. At the beginning of the 13th century Amsterdam was the fishing village belonging to Amstelske landowners. The first documentary mention of the city belongs to October 27, 1275. The city was obliged by the emigrants to the dam which secured the area against floods. The origin of the city is recorded in his name. Literally, a dam on the Amstel River. By the 15th century Amsterdam became the largest trade city of the Netherlands. During 80-year war the largest rival port of Amsterdam, Antwerp, was occupied by Spaniards. 1585. That led to Massachusetts migration of the Antwerp dealers and handicraftsmen and a huge number of the Jews escaping from the Spanish Inquisition to Amsterdam. In the 14th and 15th centuries the city becomes shopping center. In the 16th century the Jewish merchants brought to Amsterdam from Antwerp the equipment of a facet of diamonds. In the 1960th years Amsterdam was the center of the movement of the European hippies. Provo and Kabouter, forced to shake with fear of respectable citizens. On the coat of arms of Amsterdam 3 Andrievski crosses. Though Nicholas the Wonderworker is considered the patron of the city, are represented, these crosses are also a flight component. 3 crosses of Saint Andrew designate 3 advantages of the city: valor, hardness and mercy. The motto of the city Heldhaftig, vastberaden to barmhartig. Valorous, resolute, sympathizing. Was granted in 1947 by the Queen Wilhelmina in acknowledgement of the courage shown in World War II. The national tradition also connects these 3 crosses with 3 threats to the city: water, fire and epidemic. Besides crosses, at the coat of arms there is a crown of the Austrian Empire.
In 1489 Maximilian in gratitude for merits and loans granted to Amsterdam the right to decorate the coat of arms with the royal crown, which in 1508 after Maximilian's crowning was replaced by the Emperor of the Sacred Roman Empire with imperial.
In the 17th century she was replaced with Rudolf II's crown again. Lions appeared on the coat of arms in the 16th century when the Netherlands was the Republic. Economy. Amsterdam, the financial capital of the Netherlands. It is one of the largest cities of Europe by the number of banks and corporations, after London, Paris, Frankfurt and Barcelona. In Amsterdam there is headquarters of such organizations as the Netherlands Bank, ABN AMRO, AXO Nobel, Heineken Ingroep, Ahold, CNT Express, Tomam, Delta Lloyd Group, Wimpelcom Limited and Philips. In the historic center of the city still there are offices of some companies, but most of them is taken out on the southern outskirts. The Amsterdam Stock Exchange, the oldest in the world and one of the largest in Europe. It is located near Dam Square in the downtown. Industry. In Amsterdam and its suburbs the enterprises of the electrotechnical industry and mechanical engineering are placed. Special development was gained. Aircraft industry, shipbuilding, chemical and woodworking industry, oil processing. Besides, the city is the center of cutting and trade in diamonds. The capital of the Netherlands is known for the light industry. Here about 50% of a turnover of all industry in the country are concentrated. Food production is based on processing of coffee, tobacco, cocoa, coconut oil, potatoes, grain and sugar beet. Tourism. Amsterdam is one of the most popular tourist centers of Europe. Annually he is visited by more than 4.63 million guests from other countries. According to 2009. 2/3 of hotels are located in the downtown. About 42% of all berths are the share of 4- and 5-star hotels. Most of tourists, 74%, come from other countries of Europe. Among guests from the non-European countries the greatest share is made by citizens of the USA, 14% of total number of tourists. Coffee shops. Coffee shop, a kind of the institutions. Generally in the Netherlands. Having permission to public sale of hempen products from her. Under the law the coffee shop can sell no more than 5 grams of marijuana to one visitor. It is connected with legislative restriction of the maximum quantity of marijuana which is authorized for having at itself. Activity of coffee shops is regulated by the Opium Law and the Netherlands Policy on Drugs. By some estimates, the annual turnover of trade in marijuana only in the central part of the Dutch capital reaches €100 million, first of all thanks to tourists. In total in Amsterdam 173 coffee shops. The number of licenses is regulated by the state. The coffee shops which repeatedly violated rules of work can be closed by the authorities. Free licenses for opening of new institutions are played by the principle of a lottery. Transport. In Amsterdam many people use bicycles. In 2019 in the city there are more than 880,000 bicycles. Thus it is more bicycles in Amsterdam than people. Daily 63% of people use bicycle as the main transport for movement. Some residents have 2 and more bicycles. On average in the Netherlands 1.3 bicycles are the share of each inhabitant.
On average, each resident of Amsterdam passes by bicycle about 900 kilometers a year.
Their popularity is caused by convenience of movement, rather small territory of Amsterdam, a large number of special paths, the flat area, relative inconvenience of use of the car.
My different calculations in the city steal from 80 to 120,000 bicycles a year.
Amsterdam has well-developed system of public transport. A subway, traditional and high-speed trams, bus network and ferries through the river He works in the city. All city public transport is under control of the AVEV organization. Gemeenevervoerbedrijf, that is municipal transport enterprise. The suburban buses connecting Amsterdam with vicinities belong to other operators, in particular Arriva and Connexion. All types of city transport are affected by magnetic transport cards and tickets. The Schiphol airport is in 20 minutes drive by electric train from the central station. It is the largest airport of the Netherlands and the fourth largest airport of Europe. It was constructed in 1916 on the place of the Osucheni Haarlem Lake. Schiphol has 6 runways at the moment when plans for expansion of the airport are developed. Science and education. In the territory of Amsterdam there are 2 universities. University of Amsterdam and Free University.
The University of Amsterdam was founded in 1632 as Lyceum of Education and initially included 2 faculties.
Economic and philosophical. In 1877 to Lyceum the rank of the university was given. Now the university is subdivided into 7 faculties. The Humanities, Social Sciences, Natural Sciences, Faculty of Economy and Business, Law Department, Medical Faculty and separately from him Dental Surgery Faculty. Here over 25,000 students study. The Free University was founded in 1880 at the expense of the Protestant community.
Till 60th years of the 20th century at this university students of Protestant religion studied practically only.
The university includes 13 faculties and 11 research institutes. The large science museum, Mutley, is founded in 1997. Calculated on youth audience works in the city. Having bought the ticket in the museum, visitors can study fundamental laws of physics, chemistry, biology and other sciences in easy, playful way. The Amsterdam Public Library, the largest in Europe. Architecture and sites. The historic center of Amsterdam differs in a large number of well-remained medieval buildings. Churches, inhabited and merchant houses. Because of a big and extensive network of channels, many constructions. See the house on the channel. Keep on massive wooden piles. Over time some begin to rot, and houses begin to dance, refraining from destruction thanks to support of the neighboring buildings. On some facades it is possible to meet the cross beams which are sticking out outside. By means of the system of blocks and ropes these beams were used for erasing of freights from boards of sea and river crafts directly to warehouse on attics. The sculptural decor of pediments is most often executed in the form of a modeled frame of square or rounded shape in combination with the jewelry symbolizing an occupation of the host. The tool, figures of bakers, fishermen, tailors, etc. Central Nea Street of the capital, Damrak, on her the cultural centers, a set of cafe, craft workshops and the museums are located. On crossing Damrak with Froken Street is historical Dam Square. In the western part of the square there is one of the most remarkable architectural objects, the Royal Palace, which is more than 200 years the residence of the Netherlands monarchs. Nearby there is Madame Tussauds.
To the east of the palace, the national monument erected in 1956 in memory of the victims of the Netherlands people suffered in fight against Nazism. In Amsterdam tells the Jewish Historical Museum placed in the Being Big Synagogue of the capital about history of the Jewish people. Also medieval towers of Amsterdam, the Monetary Tower, Skerstoren and Montelbanstoren, who remained till our time in excellent condition, and also the building of Wait Chamber built in 1488 are interesting.
The eclectic Theatre Ticino. Nowadays movie theatre. Built in 1921, treats modern architectural sites. In Amsterdam on channels there are a lot of floating houses. As a rule, it is weekend homes, that is houses to which their owners come for the weekend or for holidays, and not only from the Netherlands. At Amsterdam die Valen where prostitutes parade themselves in the window stores stylized under show windows and which are highlighted. Usually red light has great popularity thanks to the allowed use of soft drugs, but only in special institutions, coffee shops, and also thanks to the red light district. In Amsterdam the big zoo, Artis Zoo, is located. In a zoo there are more than 750 animal species and more than 300 plant species. Museums. State Museum. Rijksmuseum. Vincent van Gogh's Museum. City Museum. The Hermitage on Amstel. Museum of Navigation. Amsterdam. Royal Palace. Jewish Historical Museum. Madame Tussauds. Museum of Bags. Science Museum Mutely. Anne Frank's. Shelter. House. Olympic Stadium Museum. Rembrandt's House Museum. Museum of History of Amsterdam. Museum Village Goldgazen. Furniture and home decoration of the 18th century. Museum Van Loon. Sample of the merchant/noble house, the 16th-19th century. Museum of Canals of Amsterdam. Museum of the Photo. Museum of Cinema. Museum of the Bible. Museum Amstelkering, or Church Gospodina Cherdek. Secret Catholic Church. Museum of Diamonds. Museum of Cats. The Museum of Beer Heineken with tasting. Ethnographic Museum. The Museum of Resistance devoted to World War II. The Amsterdam Dungeon. The interactive museum attraction and room of horrors on the history of Amsterdam. Archaeological Museum Alida Pearson. Bridges. Blue Bridge. Majeerbrug. Sterry Bridge. Sport. In the city the set of competitions is annually held. It is possible to distinguish the Amsterdam Marathon and a run of Dam tot Dam Loop from them. The central stadium Johan Cruyff Arena is the home arena of football club Ajax. Religion. Protestants live in Amsterdam. There are also Catholics, Muslims and representatives of other religions. In the city the monastery and arrival of jurisdiction of Russian Orthodox Church are located. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories.
All of good mood and good luck.